Welcome back, guys. Thank you again for watching another YouTube video of mine. My name is Nelson Fuentes. My YouTube channel is Nelson's Homes. So is my IG name, Nelson's Homes. Today, this video will be about a buyer versus seller's market. Currently, we will go ahead and just dive on in. So let's just start with a seller's market, since that's what we've been experiencing over the last couple years. A seller's market, it's basically in the name itself, it benefits the seller the most. So sellers usually have the most leverage in this market. Typically what goes on during a seller's market that led to it is the fact that there is less inventory. So it's your basic supply and demand chart, right? If just interpreted it in a real estate industry. Our inventory, when I refer to inventory in the real estate market, I'm referring to properties that are available for sale to purchase, right? So in a seller's market, there is less inventory available, meaning that there is a high demand for this inventory. So of course, what happens is the price of properties start to rise, as well as the competition, meaning that there are more offers on one specific property than there are, in a buyer's market on average, of course. So during a seller's market, because of this high increased demand and low inventory levels, this leads to multiple offer scenarios, bidding wars, and people being completely eliminated out of equations just because of how much competition there is. The main people who suffer in this seller's market is typically first-time home buyers, because there's not that much opportunity available for them. There is so much competition amongst these investors and these, second-time home buyers, or anybody really who has money available that isn't a first-time home buyer usually is beating out the first-time home buyer. And so, of course, the seller has all the leverage, therefore they're not really making any repairs, they're not really negotiating much down, that is, for them, or of course, adjusting price. So in terms of who wins a lot in this, it's definitely the sellers. The days on market is affected. By days on market, I refer to how long a property stays on the market. So once it is listed as active and for sale, typically in a seller's market, it will be under contract within a week. So if it's not under contract within a week, it's either overpriced, not marketed correctly, or not being serviced correctly by that real estate agent. So that is what's going on in a seller's market. There is increased competition, more leverage for the seller, less days on market, and of course less inventory. And finally, for a lot of first-time home buyers are eliminated out of this market due to the terms, increased competition, and of course how long it takes for them to settle on a property based on these first-time home buyer programs. So that is what's going on in the seller's market. Now, let's talk about a buyer's market. What's going on during a buyer's market? During a buyer's market, it's pretty much the opposite of what is going on during a seller's market. So of course there is more inventory available, meaning that there is less people looking at the same property. So there are less offers on one specific property versus the average in a seller's market, okay? As well, the days on market, so how long the property stays on the market right after it gets listed as active and ready for sale, is usually on average much longer versus that of a seller's market. So in a buyer's market, you will typically see properties be on the market for at least a week, 2 or 3 weeks. Usually you probably won't see more than a month, unless again it's not being priced correctly, marketed correctly, or serviced correctly, or there could be something wrong with the property. So that is what's going on during a buyer's market. More inventory, the days on market are longer. The people who have more leverage in this market, of course, are the buyers. But due to how long a property stays on the market and how little offers or little interest there may be on that property, a buyer who does have interest has more leverage, meaning that they could get more repairs negotiated out of the seller, or of course a credit, a home warranty, or possibly a much better price, depending on who their real estate agent is, depending on the uniqueness of the property and what's going on in that specific community, neighborhood, the recent sales over the last 3 months. Of course, your real estate agent has to do their due diligence before helping you write an offer, of course. But finally, for first-time home buyers, there is actually much more opportunity for them to get the property of their dreams under a good price. Of course, during a seller's market, it is much more fast-paced versus that of a buyer's market, where a buyer can take their time and learn the process instead of being rushed into making decisions based on competition. So these are basically what's going on in a buyer versus seller's market. I hope I was able to teach you guys a little bit about the real estate industry and what's going on, especially as of late in the last couple of years. If you guys have any questions, need more clarification, or if you guys learned something new, please comment below, like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to my channel. And hopefully I can see you guys in the future and help you guys buy your first home. So thanks again.